Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us today for the third installment of our social media series. As always, I'm Katie and this is Katrina, and we're going to be going through some great content with you today. So we're just going to wait for a few minutes until a few more folks join us. So hold tight and we will be getting started in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, feel free, as always, to put in the chat where you're from, introduce yourself, and how about let us know what your Instagram handle is, because then everybody in the webinar can go and check it out and follow you and all that stuff. So we here are at Local Line Inc. So I'm going to pop that into the chat and start it off.
Not at Local Line, which we discovered yesterday were some great architectural drawings, but
yeah, the hazard of having a more common name there. So, all right, we've got a few of you there. We're going to wait a few more minutes for everybody to join. We'll start in about 3 minutes. So we'll go on mute. We'll shut our cameras off. We'll be back in 3 minutes, and we'll get started. All right, well, it looks like we have most of the folks that we're going to have today. A few stragglers will probably come on in the next couple of minutes, but we are going to get started. Thanks to everyone who shared their handles there. Go ahead, have a look at everybody else's accounts and give them a follow, always nice. So our agenda today, we're going to go through getting set up. So how to get set up with an Instagram business profile. Then we'll move on to stories. So stories being that little bar across the top. So when you see on your profile, there's a circle around a profile, that is a story. We'll talk more about that. Then we'll go through IGTV and Reels, again, more video content. And then Katrina will go through boosting posts. So using paid boosting to increase the reach of your posts and to have a particular goal in mind to a targeted audience. And then we'll talk about insights, so how to get very valuable data from your Instagram account, from your activity on Instagram, to be able to make some data-driven decisions about your social media presence. And of course, at the end, we will be doing some Q&A with the audience. So feel free to drop your questions into the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. You can see it there. If you have a question throughout the presentation, don't hesitate to put it in there. If we're already talking about the topic, we can see it. So we may just grab your question at that point, or we'll save it for the end. So don't worry, we will get to it. And as always, we will be sending out a recording of today's presentation to you in a follow-up email sometime tomorrow. You'll be getting that, as well as the resources that we talk about today in the presentation. And you'll be getting a couple of great links to our social media guide and to some templates that we're going to send along. So don't be afraid to pass that along to a friend who missed the webinar. They can also access those, as well as the recording. They can access that after the fact, even if they didn't register. We give them the opportunity to go ahead and register afterwards to access the recording. So great option there. So without further ado, I will pass this over to Katrina to talk about getting set up.
Speaking of getting set up, I totally filled up the slide like within the last 15 minutes. So apologies for the blank, but I want to talk about managing your marketing with an Instagram business profile and why that's really important in contrast to a personal profile. So a business profile allows you to have access to metrics and stories on posts. When you have a personal profile, you don't get to see those numbers, and that's really valuable. You can also track your follower engagement, see how many people are liking, commenting, sharing the things that you're sharing from your business account. And you also have access to ad campaign features. So that is exclusive to a business account. And what I mean by business is that Instagram gives you the option to change your personal profile to what's called a business account. There are only pros. I mean, there's one major con, a little caveat to that is that your Instagram account, if you do change it, and when you do change it to a business profile account, Instagram may limit the organic reach and impact that you have with some of your posts. It just means you have to get really creative and implement a lot of these takeaways with the stories and things like that we're going to be sharing today. But you might notice that if you are operating right now on a personal profile, maybe it's, it is your business name, but it's considered a personal profile, you might see your metrics and engagement go down initially. The pros far outweigh the cons. I lost my train of thought in the middle of that sentence. So having those metrics, access to those ad campaign features is going to really be able to leverage your Instagram account and be able to reach more people and gain more followers, get more customers. On the next slide, I just want to show a really valuable feature to having a business profile is being able to put a URL then in your Instagram account. Being able to have a link in bio is really valuable, but it can be limiting if you're always changing up the link that's in that bio. If you're wanting to share like one post is about us, and then you have an about us link in your bio, and then the next post that you share is about like shop our online store, and then you're going to have to update that link in bio. So having that link, again, can be a little limiting when you want to highlight multiple products and pages, but there are link in bio tools where you can have like one central landing page, which is what we're going to recommend here, where you have all of your posts kind of hyperlink back to this. I'm going to share some examples. So local lines link in bio, for example, for each post that we share, we'll say like, reference the link in bio, and we have all of our links listed there. So it's one URL, we never have to change it, and it automatically updates when we share something. So again, having a custom landing page and that link in bio is really valuable, all the relevant links. So if we go to the next slide, I just want to give a visual there of local lines link in bio. So across the top, you can see that we have visit website. We can do other links if we wanted, but our main CTA there is visit our website. And then below that, we have all of our posts. So it kind of just duplicates exactly what our Instagram feed looks like. Of course, with Instagram, it's not like Facebook or Twitter or other social media platforms where you can include a link right in the post. You kind of have to get creative. And so in this case, we have this link in bio where whatever we reference in each of these posts, you just go back, click it, and it'll redirect you to whichever page, website, online store, or whatever is relevant. So being able to have this one central link, you can highlight your latest product, your storefront, page on your website, everything like that. So with the next slide, Katie, if you just want to flip over, this is a different kind of link in bio where you have a list of different CTAs or a list of different places on your website. So it's not necessarily a mirror of your Instagram profile like ours is. So ours, we did have that visit website. We could also do another CTA on there that said like an about us page, or, you know, specific, you know, shop our latest product if we wanted to do that. In this case, this is what's called Linktree, and I'm going to share some other examples of different link and bio tools. But what Linktree does is you can have then these hyperlinks. So one of them could be like, visit our website, learn about us, shop our online store. Here's our latest product. With Local Line, you can share custom URLs just from like a one product and link directly to a specific product instead of the whole store. So you can do things like that. And then, so next, and you know what, I know ours have gotten to know ourselves very well in these webinars. I'm just gonna fly, we have so much to cover. But please, this will be in the recording, and please share some questions and comments throughout as we go, because we'll definitely chat about it. So Linktree is the example I shared before, where you can share all of those different calls to action and different hyperlinks in a kind of column where it's not a duplicate of your page. So the Linktree is actually free. It's always free. You can do an unlimited links, choose from existing themes. You'll never have to pay $1. If you want to do a pro version, it's $6 a month. And in that way, you can kind of customize a little bit more what your landing page looks like. There's something called link.bio, and plans are free to $24 a month. And these are not sponsored. These are just like tools that we like, have used personally, professionally, things that we recommend you use, and take a look and what works best for you to put in your link and bio. So you can do like a custom URL, unlimited links. All these are excellent options to have like one aggregate landing page for all of your information and set that up when you do share from your Instagram profile. We use Later personally for Local Line. So Later, you can do free to $40 a month, and all the plans include a link in bio. So the Later, actually, click next. There we go. I had them show up just one by one. So Later, that's what ours look like. You can see like each of our posts there in a grid where you say link in bio and you just reference the exact post that you had seen. So that's what we're using. And then finally, you can use something called Feedlink, which is the most expensive option there, but it is something if you did want to take a look at Feedlink as another option for your link in bio. So it just makes the user experience so much more seamless. It allows you to share without, you know, we want to make things a lot easier for you. It's not that, no, just things that we love and are really helpful. So leveraging these types of tools just make your life easier. Social media is a huge part of your business, but it's also just a facet of your business. And of course, it's not, you know, the main part. So anything you can do to make life easier, more efficient, and make your efforts go a lot farther is a win in our books. So that's link in bio, and that's, you know, getting yourself set up is being able to make your account a business profile to get access to those insights, which I'll talk about, and then make sure you leverage that link in bio or that URL and making it a link in bio in your profile. So things that you might want to include in that bio is a new product launch, any best-selling products, if you want to always have that there, you know, that's a good seller. Promoting a sale or discount, if you do have any promotions like that going on. An About Us page, I did mention, of course, a link to your online store or website, if you do have any of those. An FAQ page is a handy one too. Some people like to put like, here's our process for ordering, you know, go to our store, add to cart, create a profile. That's how you know, or order closes, you know, our order window closes Thursdays at noon. So if you do have like a process page on your website, excellent to link to as well. And then a contact us page. Of course, people can get a hold of you through DMs or anything like that on Instagram. But if you prefer that they reach you through the methods that you've listed on your website, absolutely list that on your contact page. So it's really just like kind of like a mini version of your website, but as a landing page, people can find all those links extremely easy. It makes sure that when they do click that link, they're not going anywhere. They're going to find exactly what you've referenced them and hope that they would click on. Highly encourage you to do that. And if you do have questions, please, we can go over that in depth, or if you want to have somebody look at, you know, your profile and walk you through that, happy to do it. So just reach out to us at info@, and we can set something up for sure. Moving right along, we'll jump into Instagram stories, and I'm gonna have to put over to Katie, and she's gonna do just some awesome demos and go over about why this is important and how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So really excited to share with y'all today some info about Instagram stories. I really love stories. It came out back in 2016, I believe, and I think it was just a completely revolutionary way to share on social media. No one else was doing anything quite like it at the time. And so it's great for business. It's a great, easy way to share visual content. So let's dive right into it with actually a couple of questions to start us off today. So I do have a poll question. First of all, do you use stories right now? So I'll pop that up on the screen and let us know. Do you use stories at the moment or not yet? A few answers in there. All right, so it looks like, okay, so the majority, or the majority of people, not yet. We have a few yeses, which is great. Okay, so for all of you who've not used stories before, this would be a great way to get set up. And for all of you who do, we have some handy tips for you today. So we're going to go to my second question, which is a bit of a trivia question here. How long do stories live for? How long do they stick around on Instagram for? What do you guys think? Or what do you folks think? And again, feel free to pop any questions along the way in the Q&A box. Don't forget about that. A few answers. I'll wait for a few more. All right. So great. Most of you got that right. That's awesome. Yeah. So for a day, stories last for 24 hours on Instagram. So there is a little bit of strategy involved there, and we'll talk about that next. One last question. Can you add links in stories? So let me pop up the next poll here. You guys are doing pretty well with the first one. Let's see how I do with the second one, a little trickier. Got a few answers coming in. All right, looks like that's leveling off. Let's see. Okay, oh, interesting. Okay, so we have 6 yeses, 4 no's, and 6 it depends. And actually the it depends have it, because it does depend. If you have, for instance, let me just get this out of the way. So sharing links and stories is interesting. So if you have more than 10,000 followers on Instagram, or you are a verified Instagram account, that means that you can have the swipe up option on your stories. Now, in the same breath, Instagram is currently experimenting with the use of link stickers within stories. So if you're within their trial geography, which they kind of pick on their own, you might have the option already as someone with less than 10,000 followers. If you have more than 10,000, great, good for you. I am so proud of you. But if you have less than 10,000, like me, then you might be able to use those stickers, those link stickers right now. You might not be. It looks like they're going to be rolling that out to all of their users in the future. It's been trialing pretty well, but they really did just release this beta feature, I think, within the last 48 hours. So if you have it, great. If you don't, no worries. We're going to talk about today how to use stories and still be able to send people to the right places to leverage stories well. So we will get started here. So why would you want to use stories? So from Instagram themselves, they say there are 500 million daily users. So 500 million people daily are looking through stories on Instagram. So that's a really big number. That's a lot of people. And in terms of what people go to right away on Instagram, it's slowly shifting from scrolling through the static posts on their feed to immediately clicking through to stories and watching those end over end, because they don't have to click forward. They will automatically keep populating. So something to keep in mind is that in terms of the way that people use Instagram, it's shifting. They are authentic, they're personal, interactive, they're quick and easy, and it really takes minimal effort to create a story and to have it be engaging and fun and open. So what you want to keep in mind in terms of moments, in terms of what you want to share in your story, you want to have moments of your day, messages. So if you want to say something or update people about what you're up to, this is from one of the people that we follow on Instagram and someone we've worked with before. She has a fantastic Instagram account. You want to talk about what you're doing. So she's doing her organic inspection prep, which is a huge thing. So she's got a little video that she shared there in her stories. So beyond taking video for a story, you can share a video in your stories. And then we have one here. So just a fun post of, again, a moment throughout her day where she's feeding the cats. Tell me you're late with dinner. They're telling me you're late with dinner. And it's a quick, cute little video of a bunch of, it looks like barn cats just mulling around waiting for her. So that's really great. And then the last one there, CTAs and promotions. So Katrina just recently talked about link in bio, and that's going to be something I'll reference back to. Is if you need to send someone to a link, you want to use stories to send them through to your website or to your store. The way to do that with under 10,000 followers is to say in your story, link in bio. So if you're doing something about, let's say you have a story, and I think that's on this one here. Yeah, if you have a story, let's say, of what you have at the market that day. So like this image here, you can say these are available at such and such market. And in my store, link in bio, check out the link in my bio, right? And that's how people are going to get to your store if you have under 10,000 followers. So stories themselves can contain a lot of different content. So we can have posts like I just showed you, so moments in your day. This is an example of an update post of what is available at your farm. And I believe I have another one here just to highlight the way that they can be interactive. So these are stickers. You can see, so that one there, the slider, and then you can see the other one. These are stickers that exist within stories. And so you can ask your audience a question and get them to interact with your posts. That's going to start building that community that you want to foster through your social media. So you can do surveys, this or that, the slider that you see. You can do some educational content. So let's say you do a garden walkthrough or a farm tour or a staff spotlight. Pricing updates and promotions, or a quick how-to. You can even ask a question using a this or that sticker. You could say, what do you want to see at the Saturday market? And you can actually ask your customers and your audience directly. Let's say you get a lot of responses. You say, what do you want to see, carrots or zucchini? And if you get like 90% carrots, that actually gives you a little bit of business insight as to who's following you. Is probably going to cross over quite a bit with your customer base. So always a good way to just get some info from your audience about what they want to see and about your business. So these are some good ones here. Now I want to talk about highlights. So we heard earlier that stories only live for 24 hours. That's true, but they can also live forever in your highlights. So in our demo in a few moments, I'm going to go through a couple of things about highlights, how to put those little, you can see on the screen here, those little highlight covers that are custom. We'll talk about how to do that. But a good thing to think about when you're choosing what to highlight, what to keep in your highlights, these are stories that have good information for your customers. So when someone ends up on your account, across the top, you can have things like FAQs, how to buy, where to buy. Products could be a category as well, where any stories that relate to products that you sell could be in there forever, so that people can tap through and see what you're selling. So you can also save, if you do have over 10,000 followers, you can save link lists as well. If you are in that category, then you can use one of these as a link list as well. Just a side note there. So a couple of takeaways before we head into our demo. I can click through there. first things first, stories can be interactive. That's the really nice part about them, and that's what makes them unique. So you can use those stickers and really speak back and forth to your audience there. They also have the option at the bottom when they comment, that goes straight to your DMs. So you're able to interact with your customers then when they respond to your story in a message. You can use video. So use video. Video is king. We are visual creatures, and human beings react more positively to video than static images. And the algorithm itself in Instagram favors video over static images. The stories algorithm is a little bit different in that sense. It has to do with recency and relevancy for that person. So that means if you're posting consistently to stories and that person is seeing your stories on a regular basis, so really, which means when they click across the top and they let those stories play, you're posting consistently enough to show up in that for them. And that's how it's going to become more favored in their stories feed. So again, just a couple of things to keep in mind. Basics from our first webinar too, right? Like, be consistent, post enough, and just keep continuing to have stuff for your followers there is going to help the algorithm favor your content. Another takeaway, save important info in highlights. So in the same way, if someone lands on your website and you want to give them a quick rundown of who you are, what you do, and where you're located, think about that for highlights as well. What's the basic info you want a customer to know or potential customer to know when they land on your Instagram page? And use CTAs through the swipe up if you have more than 10,000 followers, or link in bio. So when you say shop now, check out the link in my bio, or if you are one of those lucky folks with more than 10,000, you can make sure that you're doing a swipe up feature. All right, it's demo time. I thought I'd make that a little bit more fun than it usually is. So let me get set up here, and I'm actually going to take you onto my phone that I have in front of me here, and we're going to just talk through a couple things on the interface here. And we're just going to do a sample story using my dog as subject matter today. So bear with me for a sec here, and I'm just going to get my phone screen sharing here. All right. I think I've shut off all my notifications, so. All right. So I have my second screen here. Don't mind if I'm looking off to the side. All right, so here is the Local Line Instagram account. So if you visited it before, you can see we do a couple of different things on our grid. We have some helpful tips. We have some video. We'll talk about IGTV. So we have that third from the right. We have an IGTV post as well. And just to orient you, if you're not familiar too much with the Instagram interface, so this is the main grid. These are your main static posts. And then across this line here, you've got Reels, which we'll talk about. You've got IGTV. Then you've got stuff that you've been tagged in over here. So, oh, great. My screen time notification. Apparently I've been on my phone too much. All right. And then as you can see, these are our highlights. So the few green circles here, we've posted resources. So these are things that we've created to help our farmers and our customers. And so we've saved them. You can see this one is 79 weeks old. So it's lived there for quite some time, but this is still relevant to our audience. So we keep it evergreen within our highlights. Someone can click through. We've got a new post. We have our guides and resources. We also have our new features. So we have these are some older new features, but if I click along.
Katie, can I just interrupt?
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know, or at least for me, earlier your screen sharing was like totally working, but now it's just, we're still looking at the static
profile.
Okay.
Might be a little bit
can tell
slower.
what you're saying. I think you're going through the highlights, but anyways, it's just not popping up.
Oh, okay, let us know in the chat if you can't see anything. I'm going to do one thing here to optimize this for video. So I'm just going to stop sharing for a second. I'll be right back.
It was working before just fine, so I think whatever we might be doing. Okay.
All right, so it's going to share sound as well. Fun. All right.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Here we go. Great. Okay, is that a little bit better?
Yes.
Y'all can see this scrolling? Okay, sweet.
Perfect.
So I was just talking about our our highlights there, and you can see we've FAQs as well about local line. So some of these again are a little bit older, but if I click along, we get some newer ones. What's a catalog? And so you can create posts like that in your stories and highlight them and keep them forever. So you have lots of good information there. Okay, so enough about that. I'm going to actually create a story and we're going to walk through that together. So a couple different ways you can do that. Wherever you see a plus sign on Instagram, that means create. So we're going to create something here. So I've tapped the create button at the top and I want to create a story. So this is create mode. You can see my, my laptop there in front of me. So if you want to live create something, hey, Katrina, you can live create just by clicking the button in the center there. So the record button. And let's say you got some chickens running around, you want to do a story about your chickens. You can take a live video of your chickens at that point and then create your story that way. You can also click just down in the bottom. I've just clicked that little photo and you can see that it'll take me to my camera roll. I've pre-selected a few things here that we can use. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go against my own recommendation in terms of video. Okay, let's just do as I say, not as I do. But we're going to do a poll question here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select, see this photo here, this lovely picture of my dog. So if I want to select multiple in a row, there's this little button up at the top. I can select multiple. I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. It's him at 3 different stages of a yawn, which I think is adorable. So we're going to click this arrow here. We go to the next page. This is where you can kind of add things and make it a little bit more fun. You can add music now to your stories. That is a new feature. So if you have something that you've saved or you want to browse something, search for music that you've heard before in either a story or a reel, you can do that here. I'm not going to this time because you guys won't be able to hear it anyway. But then, ooh, do I have the feature? I might have the feature. So it looks like I could link an IGTV video. So that's fun. That's a new feature for me. And here are my stickers. So I'm going to do a poll after. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Great. So on this last one, what I'm going to do here is create my little poll. The answer is obviously yes. Merlin is a good boy. That's my dog. I'm going to click yes. And then I'm just going to add some fun stuff. So what else do we have? I'm going to add some sparkle because he's a sparkly boy. I'm going to go back to this one. You can even search really obscure things like yawn. I'm going to add some Z's there. I'm over my time limit. I'm going to ignore the limit for today. I can, if you use 2 fingers and expand that graphic, you can make that bigger. We're going to add some Z's there. All right, I think this is enough for the time being. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to go next, button at the bottom. And then I can select where I'm going to share this. I'm not going to share this today.
Looking forward to
yeah, not going to share this on the local line Instagram, but you can see. You can also send your story directly to people. I personally don't do that. As a business, we don't really do that, but it's an option. And you can also restrict it to close friends only if it's a private account, like mine here. So we can also, because Instagram and Facebook, owned by the same company, they're owned by Facebook, we can share this story on both Instagram and on Facebook at the same time. So if you want to do that, you can go ahead and share it both. All right, so that's just a quick tutorial. The other thing you can add is you can add some text. That's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, it gives you little prompts. That's the nice thing. It gives you a little tour and little prompts every time. So if you want to change the text background, you want to change the color of the text, the style, or the alignment of the text, you can do that as well. Another feature is you can draw. So You can kind of show that's Merlin. He's a good boy. You can circle things on your post. So lots of different things that you can do. All right, so we're gonna undo this and I'm just gonna back right out and we're gonna go to our next section. And also feel free to throw in the Q&A if you have any questions about this. While I have my phone here, we can also do some extra demos if anyone wants to know something in particular. All right. There we go. All right. So just need a sec to get rid of my Instagram there. Great. So we're going to move on to IGTV and Reels. So this topic, I know it's probably going to be new for a lot of people, and that's okay. You can start small with these and build from there. And you also don't have to use both of them. Like it's totally up to you. I would recommend you try. But if you want to start with one and then incorporate the other later, you can also do that. Let's just see. We've got a couple questions here. I don't want them to get lost in the chat. So if you want to just copy those over to the Q&A, that would help us out a ton at the end of our webinar here. That would be great. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone. All right, so we're going to start with actually Reels. We're not going to start with IGTV. So Reels, as per Instagram, invites you to create fun videos to share with your friends or anyone on Instagram, recorded at 60 seconds. As of yesterday, this is breaking news. As of yesterday, 60-second multi-clip videos with audio effects and new creative tools. So if you're really looking to start getting more creative and branch out outside of stories, this is a fantastic next step. So you can easily create content. There are a lot of options. And it is a really fun way to engage with a larger audience. So my little note there, it's very similar, if not all too similar to TikTok. It's very clear that Instagram created Reels to compete with the popularity of TikTok. So if you're familiar with TikTok or you've browsed on there, this is almost the exact same thing with a few different layout differences because of Instagram. All right, so next one here. So why would we want to use Reels? It's great for growing followership. So if you've ever been on Reels, you can see that it just continually scrolls. So when you go to Reels or your Reels like Discover page, you're going to continue to get fed more and more and more and more Reels based on the Reels that you usually watch. So if you're someone who is interested in local food, or for some reason comes across your Discover and it's about farming, and you watch that one and you click into it, Instagram knows that. And so they're going to start feeding you more similar Reels. So that's the way that you're going to be growing your followership, that and through hashtags that you can use in Reels as well. So hashtags still apply here. You can use it to latch onto and piggyback onto existing topics and to ride the wave of popularity of somebody else or of a trending topic. So keep that in mind when it comes to Reels. So we're going to hop right into a demo. I think that's the easiest way to do this is if we just jump onto the Local Line account here, and I'm going to show you what our Reels feed looks like, what is going to appear on our Reels, because it's going to be all farm stuff, which is great. So we'll show you that, and then I'll give you a quick tour of Reels. I probably won't cover everything. We're not going to go too in depth. We're not going to try and hack anybody's algorithm. I am just going to show you how to use it and how to start. All right. So let me get set up here and we will get going. Katrina, anything else to add at this point?
No, I mean, you're covering it all. I think I was just watching the time. I'm like, we always
go over.
Oh. No, we're good. But I'm like, time's flying.
Yeah, this topic, I think that we could talk about it for
totally good. Yeah, but
a long time.
You've got it.
All right. So let me just head to, give me one quick sec here. Okay, so let me share the screen here. Thanks for your patience, everyone. This is something new. This is something we haven't done in our webinar so far. So just making sure that it all plays and you can all see it properly.
That's awesome. I'm glad you knew to do that. I didn't even know that this was an option. This is perfect. Super helpful.
All right, so we've got some of our Discover posts here. We've got this great recipe one that I'm going to click into. So that's actually going to be one of our suggestions as well, so that you can do recipe videos within Reels. So you can click into it and you go directly to a bunch of other videos that Instagram thinks that you might like. Okay, carpentry. Yep, some more chef stuff. Oh, okay, that's real cute. So that's pretty much at the end of the day what you're going to be finding within Reels. There's these great videos, you know, people are
Add 27 photos to this sound and let it sync.
flowers. I'll stop that so you can hear me. They are high value, tons and tons of interesting content with video and sound and on-screen words. So it's really this big sensory experience, and it's really engaging for people. Like Reels and TikTok are popular for a reason, because they're kind of all-encompassing. So what we're going to do is just quickly create one. So I'm going to go to the plus, and again, we've got Merlin here, and I have a video here of him. We have ducks in our neighborhood, and they land on our roof, and Merlin likes to watch them. So it's a little video of him watching the ducks. So I'm going to just flip over to Reels. So now it's creating a reel. So just be aware of that when you go to create, and you just automatically pop to this screen. Across the bottom, you can always change what you are creating. So again, that plus sign, it's going to take you to here, head over to Reels. So again, I have the option of just taking a video by clicking that in the middle of my screen there, that button, and taking a video. I do also have the option here to show you of putting it on a timer. You can see at the bottom there, of adding a filter, of adding some, I believe that's another filter, of magnification, so zooming in, and the music on the top there. All right, so I'm going to add this. I'm going to go over here. I have this existing video of Merlin watching the ducks. It's got some audio of me talking to him here.
Where are they, bud?
So that's our little video there of him watching it. So that's great. I'm not going to add anything else to that. So I'm just going to add that one. So that's, as you can see, it's under that little dot there, right? So I can clip it by clicking on the scissors, making it shorter, making it longer. So I can scrunch that down to here. But I'm going to kind of leave it as is for now. So I'm going to click done. And then if I want to add, let's say I'm going to touch that up. Let's see. And what else do I want to add? Oopsies. Give it a sec here. You can add those silly faces. There's a lot of that going on. Let's, oh, this is a fun one as well. I can align this. So I can, let's say I want to turn this around and have these two overlapping. I can do that. It's how those people do this sort of like fade out videos. So you can play around with it and see what you want to do. There's a lot of different options within Reels. And then there's the music option, of course, that we talked about. So you can add music to your reel. I don't profess to be an expert in making great reels. Katrina is far better than I am at it. But again, you don't have to be an expert to start with this stuff. You can play around with it. You can look at what other creators are doing. I'm going to turn this, is probably terrible for you to look at.
But the thing is, it just I mean, authentic is always better, right? So long as you're showing your face, you're showing something like, you know, behind the scenes, or what Ronald Rose Farmer was showing, like moments in our day, that's more valuable than doing nothing and not knowing. So just getting started, and you're going to kind of learn some tips and tricks, and when you see others and what they might be using in their reels as filters or features. We had a question come through, and I just want to be 100% sure that I did actually answer it and share with everybody if they're not watching the chat. But so reels are shorter videos, and then IGTVs are longer. Reels, I believe, are 30 seconds. So reels are 30, and then IGTV are longer videos. I think it's up to 10. And then I second guess myself. It's not a 30-minute video, right? It's 10 minutes as a maximum for IGTV, I believe.
Actually, I'm not sure that I know that it's a minimum minute. And
it's a minimum minute. Okay.
Yeah. And so just as of yesterday, and it might not have rolled out to all users yet. So we're in Canada, we usually get left behind a little bit. So it might be active in the States already, is that Reels has extended to 60 seconds. That should roll out across all users within the next little bit. And so then the partition is at IGTV. So anything previously, like that's fine. It's not going to go away, because if it's less than 60 seconds, but now it's going to be IGTV is going to be a minute or longer videos is what will roll out in the near future. So stay tuned, and kind of if you want the latest updates, check out obviously Instagram's own website, and they'll be posting those updates on there. But yeah, right now I believe that is the case very soon, or will be the case very soon. If you don't have it rolled out, then yes, 30 seconds. Oh, I like that question. I just want to address this really quickly. If you make a mistake in stories, can you either delete or change it? Yes, you could. Yes, you can always delete stuff. You can change it. Well, you can't edit it. You can just delete it and redo it if you want to. You do have the option to change things up until the time you post. So it's very clear when you're posting it. So in that process of editing and adding stickers and whatever, you can edit things around, and you can go back and change something in your story beforehand, and then jump forward to another piece of your story and change something. So there's always the opportunity to do that. If you've added a sticker and you don't want to, there's easy ways to take that off. You just hold it and drag it to the little trash can that will appear at the bottom of your screen. And if there's ever a little finicky things like that you don't know how to do and you want to learn, you can always Google it. You can always say, how to delete a sticker on Instagram story. And there's so many resources out there. It's not going to take you a long time. Someone's going to give you a quick and easy answer, especially if it's something like that. So don't be afraid to dig and to figure things out and play around with both stories and reels and see what's going to work for you. So I just want to get our slide deck back up here really quick.
And you know what? Yeah, see what works. But so long as you're even posting, that's a plus. Instagram is definitely going to reward you by showing that to more people. Absolutely.
All right. So just on the topic of IGTV, we'll just go through this really quick here. So they are longer form immersive videos that you can see. So I think I actually clicked on an IGTV video by mistake when I was showing you reels. But you can see how it's that full screen. So you can see that we have a few on our Instagram account here. You can do longer how-to videos, and what we'll talk about is the ability to add links. So it's a great opportunity to put links in the description. Instead of sending someone to your link in bio, you are able to post links in the description of your IGTV videos. So for instance, if you're demoing a product on your video, you can link a CTA. So you can say shop now, and then the link to your store in the description. So instead of, again, talking about it, I'm going to demo, just really show you what we have here. We've recently done a series called Top Tip Tuesday, which we did a month or two back. And I just want to walk you through kind of what that looks like on Instagram really quickly, then we'll move on.
And then coming up next, am I on mute? No. Coming up next too is boosted posts, and I'll quickly talk about Instagram Insights. So still to come for those who might have joined kind of halfway through.
Yeah.
That's another way to expand your reach.
So I'll show you right here on our Instagram account here. So you can see that IGTV, that little icon in the corner, the one third from the left, is an IGTV post, but you do have the ability when you upload something to IGTV to also create a static post with that video in it. So just be aware that again, great way to add links in the description and have something appear on your Instagram as a static post. So if we head over to our IGTV icon there, you can see that we have Top Tip Tuesday. So it's a chance for us to give a couple of sales tips to our customers and to our potential customers. So think of IGTV as a way that you can educate your customers as well. So those longer form videos that maybe give a recipe or some tips about how to use an ingredient. Like I definitely know that I've benefited from farmers at the market that I follow personally who've talked about, okay, like what do you do with kohlrabi? It was a vegetable I wasn't familiar with a couple of years ago, and someone shared a recipe about what to do with it, and then I was like, oh, like I'd absolutely go buy that now. And it really can change your customers' minds, especially with things that you're growing that are maybe less popular, and it's because people don't know how to use that ingredient or they're not feeling inspired to use it. IGTV is a great way for you to educate folks about that. And again, to see those longer form videos, a farm tour, where you highlight, this is like a garden walkthrough. This is what our garden looks like. It's a great spot to do that, and then also have that appear in your grid posts. So for instance, we've got Chris here.
It's times like this I'm thinking a lot about data. Said no farmer ever in the middle of June when you're busy either planting or harvesting.
So feel free to check those out. And then you
swipe
up a little and you can
fast forward
across to some other videos that we have. And they'll continue to play, right? So there's lots and lots of great ways that you can keep someone on your page and have them scroll through. And have them scroll through a couple of different videos that you have.
Fast forward a few months from now when it comes to the fall.
So that's IGTV. Feel free to pop your questions in there as well. The creation of an IGTV post is very, very simple. You're uploading a video. So when you do that, it will appear in IGTV. I actually find it easier myself to do that from the desktop instead of doing that from my phone, unless it's something that you're recording on your phone. Katrina might have a different view of that. She's the one who actually posts a lot of our social media. So I might actually ask you, Katrina, which one do you find easier, to do it on your desktop or do it on your phone when it comes to IGTV? I think you're on mute.
Sorry, I'm doing it on my phone.
You're a phone person.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're going to move along here. I'm going to stop sharing this and I'll flip this back over to Katrina to give you a couple of tips about, are we doing insights next?
Boosted.
Oh, boosted. All right,
Boosting
sounds good.
posts.
All right.
Thanks for getting that up. Okay, so like, or not unlike, why can't I speak today? Like Reels and IGTV. So the goal with a boosted post is boosting what you've already posted, boosting your content to a targeted audience of your choosing. So showing up in somebody else's feed who doesn't necessarily follow you. Stories and posts are great for those who already follow you, and you can encourage people to like and comment and share for some organic reach and some organic growth. But a boosted post is like a pay to play. You're paying to have this post show up as a sponsored ad in the feeds of people who are likely to buy your product, follow you, whichever you would like your goal to be, which segues next actually into the ways that we can get started with a boosted post. We talked about Facebook and Instagram being kind of one and the same. You can boost a post from Facebook itself. I'm just showing you this as an option. I'm going to go through how to boost it from right within Instagram. It is incredibly easy. So just know that when you do go to your ads manager in Instagram, it does give you an option. We talked about this briefly in part 2. So if you do have the recording for that, you can definitely go back and check it out. You can boost existing content, but let's flip to the next slide and I'll show you how incredibly easy it is just to boost from right within Instagram. And that's clicking one of your posts. Here's one of ours. And on the bottom right, because this is a business account, and keep in mind, this can only be done from a business account, you can just literally click create ad and it walks you through. I could have done a demo, but anyways, we're just going to walk through each of these steps. So number one, they're going to first ask you to select a goal. So the first step is you're going to select whether you want more profile visits, more website visits, or more messages. And that'll help. What this really does is helps Instagram kind of direct where it's going to be showing your ad. So again, you're going to be able to select audiences, but what's the goal? You really need to identify like what you want people to be doing, and it'll help you measure it later on, which we'll talk about in insights as well. So step one, set a goal, select it, and go next. And then you're going to define your audience. So there's an option up at the top there for you to determine special requirements. You might want to say like, I only want to show this to people in Ontario, or I only want to show this to people who are between the ages of X and Y. You can then do automatic, or you can create your own. And what automatic is that Instagram is going to say, okay, based on your followers and the demographics of the people who are already following your account, we're just going to do that and kind of amplify that and show your ad to other folks who resemble the demographic of your audience. Or you can create your own and really customize the demographics, geographic region, anything like that, income level. I think is in this one, if I remember correctly. You can get pretty granular. The point is, if you really want to have control over the audience that you're sharing this to, you can create your own. In the next slide, we do kind of walk through if you are creating your own. Oh, sorry, this is the special requirements. I think it is. Sorry, these are the special requirements. If you want to select categories, these are some of the options that it gives you. But so if you're wanting to create an audience, so now this is what it looks like if you're creating an audience, not an automatic, but you're going to have control over the audience you show this to. It'll prompt you to create a title. I just put sample audience in there. You can create it so that you can always go back and keep using this audience or create new ones. I'll ask you for the location. You can select some interests in there. They give you a whole bunch. You can just search and they'll populate. I just searched farm and then farmers market, and a whole bunch of other farmers market iterations came up. Local food, cooking. So anybody who has shown interest or watched videos that resemble any of these topics. And then ages. I just had the basic age. That's a huge range, 13 to 65, but in any case, so that's our sample audience that I then saved, and I hit done, which will prompt me to go to the next slide. And right there, it's just going to confirm. So, okay, so now before we had only seen automatic and create your own, now we've got sample audience. So now we know that this ad that I'm promoting based on whatever goal I had set before is going to be shown to my sample audience or audience one or whatever you would like to call it. And then hitting next, we'll ask you for the budget and duration. So you're going to be choosing a budget. You can go $2 to $1,000, and the duration that they give you is 1 day to 30 days. I, for some reason, intuitively would think that a longer duration is better. I guess it depends on kind of the ad, but when you do some research, it turns out that a higher daily budget is better than a longer duration. And the reason for that is you're going to want to switch up and change up your boosted content. So as not to fatigue the audience that you're showing this ad to, and they're going to see the same ad for 30 days, and it's like, okay, well, I haven't actioned anything yet, I still won't, just to make biggest bang for your buck and get the highest ROI. Do a higher daily budget over, let's say, 5 to 7 days, and then the next day or the next week, show something new, or in a couple of weeks show something new, or do shorter amount of days, even 3 days with a higher budget. So whatever is comfortable for you. I mean, this will be one of those things where you just have to test whatever's within your budget. You can try, $5 a day for 5 days, and then the following week do $10 a day for 3, and just see which perform better. I would choose the same audience for each time, similar posts, maybe once a video, once static. But the name of the game here is just really testing and seeing what works and monitoring. But this is how we would go through it. The next slide is really just asking you, it'll just review and give you a summary I should have mentioned, but that's fine. It's there too. So your estimated reach. So based on what your audience is, it'll actually change. When I say, okay, I want my age range to be, this, big or this narrow, it'll start to manipulate the number of people that it estimated will show your ad to. So you have a good idea of how many accounts your brand is going to be seen by. So estimated reach is shown there. It just gives you a review of your goal for the destination where you want to send people, audience overview, budget, and then payment. It'll prompt you to put in payment information and then create ad, and then your ad is live. So that's that. Couple of do's and don'ts for boosted post is you want to be sure to set clear objectives. There are, as I mentioned, the objectives there that Instagram gives you, but knowing exactly what you want with each of your ads. And that's not just necessarily, okay, I want people to visit my profile as given by Instagram, but what does the ad actually say? What is the copy in my ad prompting somebody to do? Is it, visit the link in our bio or shop now? You can see that on each of those ads early in the beginning, it said, learn more was the example by Foodland Ontario. So there is an actual clickable link when you do an ad. That isn't the case, obviously, when you do an Instagram post, but in an ad, it will give you the option to click right in that post and redirect you somewhere else. So having a clear objective of what you want your audience to do, a very clear call to action. We do have those outlined. I think it's part 2. I should have referenced this, but I think it's part 2 where we do talk about calls to action and some best practices for that. So restricting your ads time period, again, shorter for a higher budget for a shorter amount of time. Narrowing your audience, not necessarily too narrow, but making it very clear, and you have a very distinct idea of who you're showing this ad to. And then just best practice is to boost a post that is performing well. So again, what you're boosting is an existing post in your feed, and using the insights, which I'll quickly show on the next slide, is kind of chicken before the egg. I didn't know whether to do insights before boosted posts, but looking at your insights to see which posts have performed the best. Maybe they've reached the most accounts, or maybe your audience has liked this one the most. It just depends on what metric you want to pay attention to. Whatever's performing the best, choose that one to boost. It'll resonate with a larger audience just as much as it has your followers. And then don'ts, I have this covering this. Oh, don't promote to too wide of an audience. Again, you want your money to go as far as possible, and when it's not relevant to that many, I don't know the most succinct way to say this, but if you want your ad to resonate with a particular group of people, those who are shoppers at farmers markets and like local food and already engaged with that type of content, you don't want to have an audience that is too wide where they will keep scrolling and your money won't be working for you. So you don't want to run your ad then on the flip side for long periods of time. You don't want to continually boost the same ad to a similar audience, or the same audience repeatedly, kind of part and parcel with running the ad for a long time. And you don't want to boost without monitoring. So at the end of the day, you really want to know, is this ad working for me? Again, I really highly encourage you to test. We do this as well, and we make tweaks. We will run 2 different ads from Facebook, and it's 2 different videos, and maybe we'll change up the copy and we'll say this one is doing a little bit better than the other, or we'll choose 2 different geographic regions, and it's like, okay, well, this ad is doing really well in Western Ontario and not so great in Eastern, or whichever it is. So making sure that you're keeping on top of what each of these posts is doing and then making adjustments accordingly. That was it. Okay, Instagram insights. We are a little bit over time, but if everybody's okay, we'll just quickly, I actually only have two slide decks here. So when you have a business profile, you'll have these insights as part of your account, and you can find these insights in 3 different places on Instagram. So you've got them on the insights button. This is what it looks like from our account. You can see the insights right there on the profile. You can see insights per post and see how one particular post is doing. And you can also see insights for a Instagram story. So when you click at the bottom left, the amount of people, it'll say seen by the amount of people who have looked at your story, you click that and it'll give you some insights on each of those. So leveraging, depending on what you're monitoring, you're going to want to check into each of these and keep a finger on the pulse as to what's going on with your account, what's doing well, is engagement dropping off. On the next slide, I'm just quickly going to run through the 4 ways to improve your marketing. You want to be sure that you're following these 4 things and keeping an eye on these 4 metrics: follower demographics and behavior, Just understanding who's following you, and are these the folks that are buying from you, or do you want them to be buying from you? Are they more apt to buy from you or follow you, or whatever your goal is? Post metrics, so those in-feed posts. How are your posts performing? Are they reaching who you want them to reach? Are people engaging with them? Are they liking it? Are they commenting? Are they sharing? Evaluate your stories metrics. So Katie did say, the more consistently you post, the more frequently your stories are going to show up in that reel, for lack of a better word, so as not to confuse us with Instagram reels, but in that reel in the top. So the more that people do watch your stories, the more that your stories are going to show up first for those folks too. So keeping an eye on your metrics for stories is a great idea. And then of course, as I mentioned, paid ads and boosted post data. Each of these topics we can definitely go into much more depth and boosted post metrics and how to keep an eye on that. But the one takeaway is just know what's going on, make changes accordingly. And if you notice things are getting worse or better, then keep doing that thing. If it's getting better, keep doing that thing. If it's, your engagement's dropping, maybe make tweaks to your copy, tweaks to your graphic, maybe change up the post that you're sharing. So it's a lot. Instagram is a pay to play platform, especially if you are a business account. You don't have to always pay to play. And there are ways, as we mentioned, of course, in stories and reels and utilizing video, which is another great way to get to the top of the feed and get in front of those people. But at the end of the day, boosted post might be way to go, and it could be something that's worth looking into and using to grow your followers, redirect people to your online store, redirect people to market wherever you want them to buy from you, and make it worth your while. That's part 3.
Awesome.
Okay, we've got some cues in there.
That's so great. I think we have a first question here because it kind of ties into what we were just talking about with insights. So do you get better reach with a boosted post or ad campaign on Instagram? We can kind of speak from our experience. What I would say right off the bat is it depends what your goal is. If you're looking for specific conversions, like for instance, if we're using like an ad campaign in our CTA is download this resource, usually an ad campaign is going to do that a little bit better because it's a one-click solution for that. A boosted post, on the other hand, is going to still have folks navigating to a link in bio. So again, you have to define your goals and figure out what's going to work best. I would say boosted posts are great for increasing your reach and your impressions. But if you have a specific conversion goal in mind, I would say ad campaigns are a little bit better because you can do some differently targeted or retargeted campaigns as well. So Katrina, I'll let you jump on that too.
Yeah, all of that. And then just with the particular question, like, do we have necessarily, like us personally, have a better reach with our boosted posts? I don't think we do enough of boosted posts to really compare it necessarily to ad campaigns. So I have to say, like, our ad campaigns actually perform better only because we do put a lot more work into the ad campaigns than boosted. And then with the ad campaigns as well, and this is in part 2, and I hate like referencing, like, go back to part 2, but I can definitely speak to what it looks like from a Facebook perspective when you're running an ad campaign. So I'm sorry if it's a little confusing, but there are much more opportunities for ad placements when you're running it from Facebook, and why we kind of tend to choose that. So when you're starting a campaign, when I said like you can do it from Facebook and it has that boost an existing post and or create a campaign, when you do it from there, you can say, okay, I want to create this one ad. Maybe we have a specific graphic that we want to use for that particular ad or video. And then we can say, okay, we want it to appear in reels and stories and also in feed or marketplace. And you can kind of just from one campaign choose different placements, different CTAs. So it just gives you a little bit more, what's the word? Customization options.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, and okay, great. Yeah. And so Katie, thanks, Katie. I can see you typed in the chat. So I'm glad we touched on that. And then I will come back to the stories when you share a post to your stories and changing up the background color. I was thinking maybe, Katie, could you do a live demo on your phone of how we do that? And then we can touch on Suzanne's question here.
I would love to. I had to plug in my laptop.
Okay,
so I'm using the only port, the only extra port that I have.
That's fine.
I'm sure though we can, it's not terribly difficult. Let me see if you want to
I'll-
start on it, and then I will see what I can do here.
Okay. And then Suzanne, so is adding a URL as a text, adding URL as a text a live link? I think that was in the middle of the Reels and the IGTV demo. So you mentioned that in IGTV, when you add a link within the caption, it is a live link. Right, I think, Katie, yeah?
Sorry.
The live story.
Yeah, it does end up being a live link. Yes.
And then in Reels and everywhere else, when you post a URL within the caption or within the copy, it'll stay there as text. It won't necessarily be a live link, but you will have to redirect someone to the link in bio.
Yes.
Or elsewhere, but only in IGTV. Sorry to distract you while you were doing the thing.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, no, in
Just
IGTV it is a live link.
Okay. Yeah, so that is. I'll describe it while Katie's pulling up the demo, just so anybody needs to jump. But for Katie Harvey, while Katie Kirsten is getting this going. So it's kind of like a little workaround, but when you share the post to your story, it pulls a color from within that post, and it has like this generic color in the background that might not suit the brand or what you're just feeling that day. So you can add like a sticker, and instead of doing like a poll or a slider or anything like that, it gives you the option to actually add another picture. And so what I do is I add another picture, and it's of the local line colors or whichever color I want to include. And so I will include another picture, do the, I don't know what it's called, the color dropper tool. Yep. And I pull from that picture. I do the eyedropper, and then it automatically, I put it on the new picture that has the local line colors. It populates the whole thing with the color that I want, and then I just hide it behind the post. That sounds actually a lot more confusing. I thought it would be really easy to explain, but demo is definitely the way to go.
I unfortunately cannot do the demo, but I'm going to drop a link in, otherwise
Okay.
my laptop is going to die, unfortunately, but I've got a great little tutorial here. I'm going to drop the link in the chat, and you guys can follow along, and it gives a good description of how to do that. So
Okay, yeah.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, yeah, and it's a really specific, like a weird little workaround. But that's how we do it. And I usually just have a couple of posts in my camera roll that have the colors that I want. So I'll just pull from that.
Yeah, that's an easy way to do it, and just keep those on hand. Like if you know that you have, like if you have brand colors, keep just a screenshot of your brand colors in your photos for easy reference, easy access. Great. Let's see, we're about 15 minutes over time. Any last questions before we get going for today? Again, you can always shoot us a question at info@localline.ca. We will absolutely answer that. Or if you want to reply to your webinar invite, that goes directly to my inbox. So you can always reach us there, and we can answer your questions if you need. Another great resource, just while waiting for any final questions here, is if you are a Local Line customer, be sure to join the Local Line Facebook group. There are farmers and entrepreneurs like yourselves in that group, and it's a great resource to crowdsource some information from other folks doing the same thing, selling online, who use Local Line as well. So definitely join that group, and it's a great place to put your questions. We monitor it, so if it's anything that we need to jump in on, we do that in the group as well. So definitely join the group if you're not a Local Line customer, or if you are a Local Line customer. If you are not a Local Line customer and you're looking to find out more information about what we do and how we can help you sell online and be successful in your business this year, drop us a line. Either you can head to our website and start a free trial, and we will reach out in that process and get you going and get you started, or info@localline.ca. Always, you can do that. And ask for more information. But I highly recommend starting a free trial. You get 7 days to kind of try the platform, and you get to see things and get set up, and
you can accept orders in that time too.
What's that?
And even accept orders in that time. You start making
exactly
for your paint.
Yeah, so you can even accept orders during that time and just really figure out if it's right for you. So we're the only ones that do that in the space, and something that we're super proud of. So definitely give that a go at localline.ca. But it looks like we're good for today for questions. So we hope that you've enjoyed listening to us talk through this today, and we're looking forward to Other webinars upcoming as well, so stay tuned for those. We're going to be diving into some great topics like email marketing, using Local Line to run your CSA. So again, stay tuned. We will send out email invites for that, and it'll be all over our social. A couple resources for you. We have some Canva Instagram post templates that we'll be sending through in the follow-up email, so wait for that. And Corinna Bench of My Digital Farmer Day 7-day Instagram Stories Challenge. So do check out her resources there as well. We collabed on some of that. So go and check that out. It's a great course, great program. We love her materials. So check that out by searching My Digital Farmer. And you can always download our Social Media Essentials for Farmers guide at our website under resources. So check that out if you want to start to finish social media guide, and our other webinars, our other social media ones, they're available on our website. If you go to resources and then webinars, and it's all there for you. So again, thanks everyone for joining us today. From Katrina and I, have a great day, and we will see you at the next one.
See you guys. Thanks so much. Appreciate your time.
Take care, everyone.